Hello, it's Collette from the Sacred Rose Temple, and I'm here to give you this week's energy report. Well, the astro psychological cosmos at the moment is working us all very deeply as we descend. We know that we're in the arena of Scorpio, and that is working with the shadow, and it's coming into the darker aspects of our psyche, behaviors, patterns, and life, as I explained last week. But we've got Venus in Scorpio at the minute, and this is all about which I want to really, tune in on. It's the descent of the feminine. Venus is swimming in Scorpio's underwater, wellways, and that means that themes of intimacy, desire, truth telling, sorry, and emotional nakedness is going to really amplify. Some of us are really feeling our intimacy needs, the desire that we have, and what that looks like, and sharing when something doesn't look the way that we feel, want, expect, all of those things. And it really is focusing on that ability to tell truth, to stand up, to speak out, to share how you feel, to say what you want and what you don't want, to be emotional. It's said that we can't heal unless we feel our emotions, and these descent into the Venus and Scorpio is about very much allowing that. It's calling us women to stop hiding, and it's an urgent call for us to stop hiding and hiding the way we feel and honoring the way we feel and start to share it, because I think part of the patriarchal structure that we've all been embroiled in, men and women, has been that of the silence of the feminine, the inner feminine, including men's voices that do hold the feminine within themselves. How can we truly start to begin to speak from a place of feminine power in the male and the female, in that is a space where we are emotional, more nurturing, more connected, all of those places. It really is in that arena trying to drop us into old relational patterns that are surfacing for healing, especially around power, abandonment, jealousy, control, and our sexual truths. So, really feel that around how you've related in the past, or maybe still relating, where there's a will to power over or underpowered, or maybe feeling abandoned, and how you have operated through relations with that. Jealousy is deep Scorpio waters for sure. And sexual truths like sexual liberation, facing your taboos, being honest about your sexual expression, wants, and needs. This is deeply feminine water, deep dive into all these aspects and asking ourselves, what part of my feminine heart have I kept secret, and why? Why am I keeping it secret? So it's really, truly deep feminine waters, sexuality, feeling, desire, emotions, realizing what you want. As we are still in Mercury retrograde, we are really feeling how the mind, returns to old beliefs, narratives, and inner stories. Our truths are trying to be rewritten, and the myths are shifting, because our psyche is really refusing the old story. It's refusing to go through those same patterns. It's screaming at us, saying, we're not going through this chapter again. It's time to turn the page. It's time for a different chapter. So, really feeling deeper honesty in expression, and thinking about how the retrograde is being a philosophical and spiritual revision of, who are you becoming? And if you're thinking like a whole new rebirth, this is the year of the snake. It was about that, shedding lots of skins. What beliefs do you have to give up to be this new version of yourself? Because the altar of sacrifice is absolutely required when we come into transformation. We might find this week that we get flashes of insight and old wounds in the way we communicate. That includes speaking and listening, comes up and is resurfacing to show you that A, you're not listening, B, you're over communicating, you're not communicating enough, whatever that might be. So we might see that we have some sudden insights and some really deep emotional kind of earthquakes where we might just burst out crying, or We have a breakthrough around how we're not being in our self-worth. Because it is all rooted in the Scorpio season, I see it as kind of like the shadow gate. It's where we're in this space with Scorpio, where the domain of Scorpio is death, rebirth, truth sensing, going into the emotional depths. This week is not about superficiality. It's not swimming on the surface. It's noticing where you're hiding and some of the bad habits that you do to hide how you're feeling, overeating, overexercising, drinking, drugs, whatever it is, whatever the vice is. What is it hiding from your raw truth, your deeper parts that want to come up during this time? I discussed before that jealousy might rise. What are you jealous of? Who are you jealous of? How does that jealous behavior make you behave? What do you long for? Because jealousy gives us a secret insight into what we're truly longing for. What grief are you still holding in your system? What desire do you hold that you're not recognizing or honoring? And where does your erotic power lie? Or where even is your erotic power? Do you sense that? It doesn't take another to do that with us. It's an inside job, shall we say, that eros, that sexual fire, the flame, the erotic power that lives within us as women. Where is that? And why have you put that out? If you've put it out, if it's raging inside you, what are you going to do with it? So, yeah, the feminine in this Scorpio season is really being asked to descend into the underworld rather than avoiding it. We've got to go there. We've got to look at these things. We've got to feel them. It really is, one of those deeper dives this week. I'm sorry, again, it is. I mean, it's the great time. It's the Samhain still part of the wheel in my druid practice, and this is all about working with shadow, 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 all those places that hold us back. This should be the most liberating work we do. But as North Node's in Pisces as well, and the South Node's in Virgo, we've got this kind of theme of destiny through surrendering. The North Node calls us into our intuition, our mysticism, our spiritual trust, compassion. All those things are going to try to dissolve the old version of ourselves, the one who hasn't been intuitive, the one who doesn't believe in her own mysticism, not trusting spirituality or spirit to guide us, and not being compassionate. So this is really asking you to be all of those things: intuitive, mystical, deeply trusting in your spirit and the spirit to guide you, and being compassionate to yourself and to others. The South Node in Virgo is really about what we must release. Things like perfectionism, getting it right, ego, overcorrecting, being self-critical, hyper analyzing, micromanaging, like those control mechanisms that we don't realize we're doing it. I spoke to someone this week really deeply about perfectionism, about how the ego holds us to be perfect, doesn't let us take risks or make mistakes, which are essential. So just notice where you're doing that with your own personal edges, and also think about on a feminine path, it's less doing, more being, less fixing, more trusting, and less tightening and more dissolving. If the feminine path is something we need to really drop into on a grand scale, a humanitarian scale, shall we say. And there's no better in this deep Scorpio energy archetype. We looked at the dark Aphrodite, but this week, for me, we are beginning to introduce the Hecate. She is the torch bearer at the crossroads. She actually is the deepest guide of the feminine through shadow, desire, death, and rebirth. Because what the Hecate symbolizes is the elder feminine. It's the one that's embodied her maiden, her mother, her crone. She stands as the epitome of power of all those aspects of the feminine. She stands in the three paths of the feminine, but also in the three paths of the past, the unknown future, and the truth of now. So she's really at the crossroads with us. She's saying, look back, at what's been, learn from it, but stand in the now and know that the future is unknown, but what we do in the now matters. So she's really like being the guardian as we move through this shadow gate. The Venus in Scorpio is her tending to the erotic shadow, inviting women to reclaim the parts of themselves that they were taught to exile. I see in an article this week, I shared it with women in my group, that there was this post about how many partners women had sex with on average, and it was a totally fabricated article. It was saying most women have had sex with 8 partners in their lifetime, and I read the thread and just sat laughing as women were saying, "Oh my god, I'm a whore! Oh my god, I'm this! Oh my god, I'm that!" And yeah, like what a patriarchal, controlling article to constantly still be talking about that. Where the articles talking about how many partners men have had? Why is it even important? A woman living in a sexual erotic power. It's not a number counting game. Oh my God, it's like childhood playground talk. Women are reclaiming their sexual power. They are saying, I will make love, have sex with those I want. I understand that sometimes that's in my shadow, and my whole kind of work is to look at shadow behavior. Am I making love to men out of seeking the validation of my father wound? Am I doing it because I feel unworthy? That's what we're doing as women in our work. Are we doing it because we've got erotic power and we're deeply sensual and desiring? Maybe, but it's nobody's business. And that's what the woman and what Hecate looks and reflects on is own your own shit, do your own thing, stop looking at articles that tell us X, Y, Z, and reclaim the power and the knowledge that, yeah, I did that out of shame and I behaved that way because I was wounded, but I did that because I wanted to. The power is the place you're afraid to enter. It's the place you're ashamed to say, I did that and that's okay because that was me. It is the place where we enter into the depth of the feminine. And desire is not a flaw, it's a door to another place. Your intuition is older than your fear. It really is. We're really born with this Hecatean intuition. And there's a difference between intuition and fear. And Hecate really midwives us through that portal. I will be doing a recording of the archetype of Hecate to help us women reclaim exactly what I've just shared. So the link will be posted under this recording later. And yeah, I mean, I'm working with this deeply at the moment. I'm teaching on Tuesday night the red cloth, a very, very ancient honoring of the bleeding women, but also what we do as a ritual as perimenopausal women, and then again, how we reclaim the red cloth as women who've gone through the change and did not honor it. So it's going to be a really beautiful blood, shadow, Scorpio kind of ancient earth-based practice class on Tuesday. I'm really looking forward to teaching it. I'll include the link under this video. But I want you to really think about the questions that are being asked this week, and I'll just take you through them now. It's really important. The psychospiritual questions, the questioning of the self, is the keys to unlocking the deeper parts of yourself. So I want you to think about number 1, where am I betraying my deeper knowing in order to stay safe, liked, or comfortable? This is where we betray ourselves as women. We like to be liked. We like to stay safe. We like to feel comfortable. But it kills us, our deeper knowing. It kills that deeper call. So have a think about that. Number 2, what truth about my desire, my power, or my needs have I refused to speak? And what would happen if I just finally said it? Interesting. And number 3, what part of me is standing at a threshold, waiting to be chosen by me? So deep questions, lots of work that we can be doing. This is exciting times, as I constantly say, to work on ourselves, evolve, take ourselves through different transitions and ways of living. Don't miss the opportunities. I'm holding lots of classes, the red cloth on Tuesday, as I said, the golden goddess, the vulnerable goddess is how we embody the goddess in the body. Really key for women working with archetypes. And yeah, the Druidry course is still in Samhain, the first part. And I call all women that are interested in training in earth-based practice, something they can teach to other women, to join this course. It's really powerful. The women are beautiful. But whatever you do, step in, just step in, do some work that could change your life, that makes you question. It will definitely be worth it. So I'm going to love you and leave you there for now, and I'll speak to you all very soon. Take care this week. Bye for now.